following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
Welcome to Business Best, a program that we have curated to give a platform for young and upcoming entrepreneurs to sort of help them inspire you and of course empower the entirety of entrepreneurs that we have in Sri Lanka. Now today's guest is one such individual who have broken many barriers and have come to a field that not a lot of people have seen women taking a part of and of course thriving. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our wonderful guest for the day, Ms. Pulani Ranasinghe, the founder and CEO of Loons Lab. Hello Pulani, welcome to the show.
Hi Sanavi, thanks a lot for having me here.
All right, so as I mentioned, you have been an inspiration for a lot of young female entrepreneurs especially, but you have been inspiring the entirety of the entrepreneur community. So we just wanted to have a quick chat with you with regards to your background, who Pulani is, and of course your wonderful company that is Loons Lab. So let's start from the very beginning. Can we know who Pulani is?
Okay, so myself is Pulani Ranasinghe. So I started my journey, I would say like the very beginning is like actually going to the university and getting like education in IT and management sector. So that's where I actually discovered that I want to do something different. And that's like after university, as an ordinary person, I went into a job and then I was like a little bored of it and then I quit it and I started Loons Lab as a company. So we started with little things like website development, mobile app developments, because that's what I knew at that time. And then slowly we grow into doing like massive projects, national-wide projects, government projects, and also, of course, we managed to develop our own products, which is into health information management sector side, and then occupational health and safety, and consular services management, and events management, and a lot of such management systems we were able to like do on our own and take it into different markets as well as Sri Lanka.
And that is how Loons Lab and your entrepreneurship actually birthed.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
Women in tech is something that we don't see that often, especially in a country like Sri Lanka. You do have women slowly getting into the industry, sort of experimenting what they can do. But the amount of success stories that we hear about women in tech is quite less. Now, you are a woman in tech and you have obviously been quite successful. Can we know a little bit about your journey into discovering your passion into tech, IT and web development and how that transpired into entrepreneurship? How did that flow go?
Okay, so that's a little bit long story. Hope you don't mind sharing.
That is no problem at all.
So actually, I think it started with, I think a lot of people talk about this issue in Sri Lanka. So we, in our school days, we only know about like doing biology and becoming a doctor and then becoming an engineer, lawyer, whatever. So the famous, we call them as famous or like the very popular occupations. So myself is more or less the difference. I would say like I did biology. That's because I got good results for like O-levels and I thought it's a way to go because everyone is going in that way. But actually my father wanted me to like pursue in management because he told me like your skills are in this area so you should do a little bit of management, not this one. But he allowed me to do whatever I want. So I did biology, but under one condition I also did a management qualification while I was doing my A-levels. And then like since maybe I didn't enjoy biology that much or like I didn't do very best in my A-levels. So that's how I went to University of California to do management and IT. And looking back, I feel like that as a biggest blessing because that actually changed my entire career or like entire future, I would say. And so as a person like who dreamt of becoming something else like a doctor and then ending up at doing management and IT as a science student. So that was quite challenging. So that time I actually wanted that difference, or like wanted to see how can I see things differently, how can I do things differently than like most of the crowd, because then like I have to go to a company and do either software development or some career in that sense. So I wasn't too sure about that, what I'm going to do. So what I did is I thought like to use university for years as my life's self-discovery period. And then I did almost all activities in the university, I would say, like starting from I chess, karate, and then going into different clubs, and even Angampura, even yoga.
You were a full-on all-rounder throughout.
I wouldn't say it's all-rounder, but I was like trying out different things because it gave me different sort of experiences, and of course started a few businesses while I was in the university as well. And then one, like since we're IT students, we came across like these hackathons, which we like, it's a very little famous among IT crowd, where like we code for around 24 hours. And then
this is
finally,
non-stop, so you stay in a place and you code for 24 hours.
And then finally we put a product out, and then we do a pitch about it, and then we make the entire plan how to take it to the market. So I think when I attended those hackathons, I felt maybe this is like really interesting and this is something really challenging. So I thought like, why don't I do this for the rest of my life? So that's why I came up with like, maybe this is something I should do. Maybe I should like start something on my own, and like I should build products and take it into market and see if that fails or success. So I think that's how I got my initial inspiration, and that's how I thought of starting my life as an entrepreneur, I would say.
So you've gone through a journey of being a bio student, a medical student whose target was to become a doctor, and then you faced a couple of hurdles, but then that you didn't let that bring you down. You navigated your life towards ultimately finding your passion. And I feel like end of the day, it's all successful because you're here. You have quite a successful business, and we're of course here to talk about it. So now let's talk about Loon's Lab. What is Loon's Lab?
Yeah, so Loon's Lab, as I mentioned, we started as like a very little company, like myself and 2 other people, and then actually we navigated through a lot of hurdles as well. So like losing those 2 members, and they weren't passionate about going forward. So then I came to a big decision: where am I going to take it? Am I going to stop it? Because I started it with, I would say, like great resistance of all over, because like there was none in my family who was an entrepreneur or businessman, so it was like quite a new thing.
There's always that initial, the massive hurdle that you need to cross,
Yes,
then you do not have entrepreneurs in the family.
Exactly.
Afterwards, what happened?
Yeah, so that's when like we slowly started to discover ourselves, like, you know, like as a company, where should we position, of course, how to find different clients, how to get projects, because like since I was also started very young, like just after around 6 months, like after graduation, so I actually didn't know, like that time for me also it was a like lot of experimentation and lot of talking to different people, getting their experiences and knowledge, and getting mentoring, and just navigating where should we take it. So that's how we initially, like we started as a projects, like or the services company, where we do our services to different clients and companies, and then we went in the model of bootstrapping. So from the profits we get from the projects, we reinvested them back in building our own products. So that's how Loon's Lab like initially started. So we were into project space, and then in project space we were actually like mastering health tech area, because we have done a lot of hospital digitalization projects and hospital information management system that runs in around different like government hospitals at the moment, where like patients go through entire patient medical record journey through the system. And then of course during COVID time we were able to do the island-wide medical supplies distribution system. So island-wide COVID PCR test management system, where like all the PCR tests and everything was recorded in the system, digitalizing the entire process. And then we are doing island-wide medical supplies distribution system at the moment. So likewise, we were able to crack into most of the health tech side expertise together with some of the WHO projects and things like that. And at the same time, some of the government digitalization, like Human Rights Commission digitalization, and of course, like Environment Ministry, some of the digitalization and Disaster Management Ministry. So likewise, we were able to work with a lot of digitalization and very important projects for Sri Lanka, where we were able to give like a bigger transparency and a bigger efficiency in their day-to-day work. So that's how our project side grew. And at the same time, we managed to develop our product side as well. So especially with like around the health information management systems, and then occupational health and safety management systems, and then of course event management solutions and consular services management systems. So like mostly our specialization was with management information systems development, and also like taking like with the bigger differentiations, taking it into different markets and also marketing it in Sri Lanka, and yeah, that's how it is.
So I feel like it is as diversified as you are.
Okay.
You know, your product, your service rather, caters both to the healthcare sector of Sri Lanka. It of course helps other B2B transactions, those sorts of businesses, and of course now you mentioned that the event planning and that's event management side of things as well. So going through your business model, I noticed that there were 3 key services, or rather 4 services that you have provided listed down. So you have software development consultancy services for B2B and for B2C. You have business analysis services, augmented reality, virtual reality and mixed reality based services, and of course you have support services. Now with these 4 product categories or service categories, how do you navigate the business, or what sort of responses have you received with regards to these 4 categories?
Yeah, so I think in like if you take the IT sector or the technology sector, it's an ever evolving sector. You cannot sort of stopping from here. But now I think now different trends are coming, like AI and different AI is massive nowadays. Like everyone wants to hear something related to AI in their products. So I mean like throughout, like these might be the 4 sectors, but in all those sectors we're actually incorporating the latest technologies and also how to get the best use of like the newest technologies and the improvements out there in the world. So I think it's an ever evolving area. So like you mentioned, I mean our core focus is software development and services and also products. So I mean within those areas, I mean we incorporate like the best or the modern and innovative technologies, and we take our projects and products forward, because we always focus on our tagline, which is purpose redefined, where we think as we can redefine someone else's purpose through technology. So that's why we always try to see sometimes not the latest technology, but what is the best suited technology for a person or like the company. So that's how we sort of like package our products and also package our services and deliver them into clients.
I love the fact that you mentioned, you know, you redefine the purpose and then augment technology into it. But the key here is the fact that it's not just the latest technology that you put in through, but the most feasible one to suit a business model. Of course, we have a lot more to talk to you about, of course, your journey and more about your business as well. But in the meantime, I feel like we'll go for a very short break. We'll be right back with Business Best. Welcome back to Business Best. We are currently in conversation with Ms. Pulani Ranasinghe, the CEO and founder of Loans Lab. Now, right before the break, we were talking about your company and, of course, its motto behind it, its vision, and how you cater to different segments of businesses that reach out to you. Now, ideally, or rather usually, the trend that I've seen with a lot of guests that we have on the show is that during COVID times, a lot of businesses have gone through quite turbulent times. It has been difficult for them to stay afloat, to even ensure that the company has a future. But you mentioned that for Loon's Lab, however, during COVID time, you were able to contribute in a massive aspect by automating the PCR data, ensuring that it's stored. And then I feel like COVID times, unlike for other businesses, you might have found a bit of success through it. Can we talk about that journey?
Yeah, exactly. So I think when talking about the challenging times, so I think for Sri Lankans, it's not a new thing to face challenges right now. So I think it started with the East attack, although we didn't thought it might affect most of the businesses. It did in most of the aspects.
It had a massive economic ripple.
And then East attack, and then came the COVID, and then came the economic crisis. So I think we were people who were going through crises. And talking about COVID time, then the whole teams and everyone had to work from remote, and then we had a lot of challenging times in managing and things like that, but we were quickly able to figure things out. Talking about this COVID PCR management system, so how it happened is we actually, as an entrepreneur, as a company, we wanted to honestly contribute something to the nation, because we saw how people in the medical sector putting their 1,000 times effort into managing the crisis and everything. So we honestly, as software engineers or as techies, we actually asked from a couple of our doctors how we can contribute. So that's when they mentioned this kind of program would be ideal, and then later on it was proposed to the higher authorities, and then that's how it was gazetted as island-wide system. So I think that we of course did it free of charge, as a gift from our company to Sri Lanka. But I think the ripple effect of it, how because we had that experience in doing island-wide system, and then we were sort of recognized in the health industry. So with that, I think we actually got a lot of recognition and a lot of for ourselves also, it was something great for us to peacefully sleep at night, that we contributed
good
this
for the country
during this time. So I think that was actually one of our breakthroughs as well, because that was something that we could showcase, and we could get the best out of it. And but that was something very honest. We wanted to contribute. It was nothing like growing the business or whatsoever. It's just we had that honest feeling. And so after that, I would say during COVID times, myself and most of the other entrepreneurs, so we had a lot of discussions on what are the hurdles that you're facing, how to overcome them, and especially when it comes to tech industries. So I think we had a bigger role to play there, because most of the companies were looking into getting the best use of tech, or how to digitalize and how to take their businesses to next level, because that's when the mobile penetration in Sri Lanka, even our fathers, our grandfathers, grandmothers were ordering food from mobiles, right? So I think those are some of the things we actually capitalized, and we were able to digitalize a lot of things at that time for different clients and different people, and also make some COVID safe related systems for private companies, and sort of help out, and at the same time to grow our business as well.
So it all started with the PCR management system. So was it, or how did it?
So we were already serving the government at that time with the hospital information management system. So that's how we actually found that gap in the market. So that's actually proposed by one of the doctors that we worked with. And then once he proposed that, then we were we had that experience, and then we were not hesitant. Then we did it, and I think as they mentioned, it was the result generation time was actually expedited by around 12 hours. And at that time, people didn't know what their result was, right? So once PCR test was done, like it took days and days. So like we just once the test results are done, so we just quickly inform them with an SMS, as in like what's their result, so that they were instantly able to know, like the process actually like shortened from around, I think 3-4 days to 1 day, like of communicating the results as well. So I would say that's a breakthrough actually, like that's a nice effort.
It's a monumental period for the entire company. I think you did something good for the entirety of society, and you're reaping the positive benefits out of it. And speaking of the good that Loans Lab has done, let's quickly touch on the awards and accolades that your company has won. I did see a couple going around. Can you please talk about that as well, the recognitions you have received?
Yeah, so I think we, I don't know if it's right to say or not, but we weren't a company like who actually went behind the awards, and like we've been like applying for most of the awards and things. We actually missed to apply for a lot of the awards on the other hand, but I think we have secured some of like precious awards in Sri Lanka. For instance, like 01 awards, which is conducted by SLT. So we have secured around, I think, 9 awards from that in like just 2 years. And so we have actually won category winning awards as well in that. And of course we got some of the world recognition like World Cup and things like that. So those are like some of the couple of awards. And also we were among Google Success Stories World Top 10 in 2018. So that was like one of the massive achievements as well, to be among World Top 10 from
now,
Google.
of course, to run quite a successful business like this. Now, you mentioned that you initially had 2 other co-founders with you who through this journey were unfortunately unable to contribute as much and now not technically part of the picture. Now you are running this entire business by yourself as the founder and the CEO. Now, to lead a successful business is to navigate through all these tidal waves that comes hurling at the business, and especially at the founder. But as of now, you have been quite successful in ensuring that you yourself and your business is staying afloat. And then the success stories that you mentioned about how you navigated during COVID-19, your awards, completely proves that point. So for all of our viewers who are tuning in right now, there could be another you out there, another person who's sort of trying to get out of the shell to be a young entrepreneur. Maybe someone who is following the bio stream just like you are, but has a bit of interest in tech, or maybe a person who's in the tech industry who has an inspiration towards doing biology, or maybe someone completely else with a different crazy idea that they might just be a bit afraid to implement. To a person such as that, or maybe if you had been given the chance to speak to your younger self to give an advice, what sort of an advice would Pulani Ranasinghe give?
Well, I think that's a very interesting question, and a lot of questions in one question.
Yes, I gave the opening to you so you can go anywhere that you want with your advice.
Yeah, so I think like I personally believe like starting young is one of the things, but I mean starting at any age is a good thing, but when you start young you get a lot of experiences, in the sense like you are doing a lot of things without knowing exactly what it is. So then you see a lot of avenues, and then you see a lot of paths, and then you figure out a lot of things to do on your own. So I think in that sense, starting young is something really appreciative, because if you fail, you can fail fast. That's one of the mottos that I was thinking when I was starting as well. So I think for young entrepreneurs, whoever, like entrepreneurs in the sense like who are thinking of starting something, it probably like sometimes it might not actually come as a business concept. Probably it might be something that you're passionate in. Maybe it's a gap that you find in the society. So just if you have that thing, and if you are really passionate about solving that problem, or giving a solution to whatever, maybe like a small thing that you see in your day-to-day life, maybe something at school, something at university, or something like that you experience when you're walking by. So I think in that sense, like if you can find that gap and find that answer, I think that's where the entrepreneurship starts. So you don't need to think big and like, see, I have to register a company, I have to do this and I have to do that in order to start. So there is nothing like that. So if, as long as you have a steady idea and the passion, and of course if you have that drive to start it, I think then it's a matter of starting, because tech, unlike in earlier days, now it's very easy. So like you have a lot of like no-code platforms, low-code platforms that you can sort of start with, even though you don't have a lot of knowledge with like software development or other like the hardcore software engineering parts. So I think there are a lot of things that you can start, and also it's a global world now. It's not limited to local. So if you build some software that is that you can put out either in App Store, Play Store, Google Store, or like in either Chrome Store or wherever, so something very little. So I think there are a lot of ways that you can market it and sort of take it into different customer segments, and so like just to maybe do a little bit of experiment on it, and then you can easily start it. So I know it doesn't sound as easy as it been doing, but I would say like just trying it out, like getting help. And one thing I want to mention is like getting help in Sri Lanka is super easy, because like if you reach out to anyone, you have that freedom to reach out to anyone in platforms like LinkedIn or like even TikTok or anything. So I haven't come across a single person who didn't reply me, who replied me in a rude way. Like I haven't come across a single person. So like if you ask for a meeting even from a very top person, I think there's a big chance that you will get that meeting, that you will get that conversation. So that if you maybe like reach out to different people and ask for help, I think definitely there are like a lot of people out there who are willing to provide help. So I think getting that help is also one thing, because we are always reluctant to ask from another person, ask for a help, and how to get it to yourself or like your idea. So I think that's one thing that I would like to give as an advice as well. And also like when you get a idea, or like if you're having that dream, just talk to many people as possible, because like when it's an idea stage, it doesn't have any value. So in order to have a value, it should be converted into a something product, right? So as long as it's an idea, just don't be afraid to speak to a lot of people and get advices on it, and to get them involved in the journey, and just to try it out. So
I feel like if you have an idea, if you have some sort of a passion, and if you feel like that is what you must pursue, might as well take action and see where it goes.
Exactly.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Pulani, for joining in. It was quite inspiration to hear your story, and of course the start of your company and how you have navigated your company through tough times, and the success stories that you have brought in. I am pretty sure that everybody who watched in, just like young entrepreneurs, and the advices that you mentioned would definitely touch their hearts and then get their wheels turning for their bright future. So once again, thank you so much for joining in on the show.
Okay, thank you very much for having me, and it's a great pleasure to be here.
Right. And of course, we were in conversation with Ms. Pulani Ranasinghe, the CEO and the founder of Loons Lab. And of course, we hope that you were inspired by her story. And if you're a person who is a budding entrepreneur with passion behind their eyes, do take action just like she mentioned. Now, of course, you can also listen to our previous episodes of Business Best through our YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/alderanaenglish.com. And of course, use this inspiration to fire up your passion and your business. We'll see you again with another episode like this, so that you can be inspired just like all of us. See you next time.